Commander, we are en route to destroying the Death five-pointed object not called a star.
Good work, soldier. Load the Death five-pointed object not called a star to smithereens.
Yes, sir. The Death five-pointed object not called a star shall go down today.
Your sacrifice will not be forgotten. The Death five-pointed object not called star wars.
Sir, I'm going into the Death five-pointed object not called a star. I can't get in. Let me in. Let me in. Oh, almost. Oh, no. I can't get in. Wait. Sir? There's an issue with the Death five-pointed object not called a star.
What's wrong with the Death five-pointed object not called a star?
Well, half of the Death five-pointed object not called a star is missing.
Dear God. What happened to the Death five-pointed object not called a star?
I don't know, sir. I'm scared. In this world, there is a war that is constantly going on. We call this the five-pointed not called a star wars. And my name is Fluke Groundrunner. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to episode 46 of From Bedrock to Java. That's right, I didn't forget the intro today. Woohoo! In the last episode, we went ahead and started working with some Happy Gas. Oh, ow, that hurts. I did not realize you could take full damage on Happy Gas, but I guess that makes sense. So, yes, we did in fact work on, getting ourselves some Happy Gas and playing around with them to see what they did. Now, today, I kind of want to work on my base, because it's been a little bit, and I'm not going to lie, a lot of this is still pretty messy, and I do want to fix some of it up. For example, a lot of this texturing, I don't like it. I want to redo it. Like, there's too much moss here. It doesn't make sense. Some of the moss, like this area right here, I think it's perfect. This area over here, on the other hand, this area up here is pretty good. But this area down here is terrible. I'm going to fix this up, I think, in today's episode. And I also want to go ahead and build up a facade for this moss farm over here. I love this moss farm. It's working wonders. As a matter of fact, each and every single one of... okay, maybe not each and every single one, but almost every single one of these chests is basically full. Only thing we're missing are these azalea bushes, of course. But the moss blocks and the moss carpets, they're completely full. As a matter of fact, we're even getting bone meal now. And you might be thinking, oh, this is a little bit of bone meal, it's not that much. I've already taken a bunch of it out and thrown it into some of those tree farms over there. And one thing I do have to say is this nether tree farm right here is not working. So I'm either going to have to rebuild it completely or find out how to fix it. Because I need another tree farm as fast as possible. Because I do want to use a lot of nether woods. So like I was saying, I also want to build up this facade right here. I'm not entirely sure if I like this brick section right here or not, but I think the style I want to go for is like a medieval gothic type of look. I don't know just yet. I'm still thinking on it, but we're going to see where it takes us today. And for once, I'm actually recording the intro before I'm actually recorded anything? This is crazy. I've never shown a before and after kind of thing. This is great. Let's look at the before. And then later in the episode, if you want to come back to this is the before, and you'll see the after right then and there. Right? Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the episode. Okay, so let's try to go ahead and fix this thing, because it is a problem. So the first thing we're going to want to do is obviously put this here, I believe. Wait a minute. Every time! The fandoms cannot leave me alone. So let's go ahead and head on back over there. Also, I managed to get the Better Clouds mod back and going, and I have to admit, I forgot how much I love this mod. It looks so good. So we're going to have something here. A little bit of this and this. The piece of TNT is going to go here. We're going to do that later, though. Something like so. This should work, right? Well, shoot. That is a really big problem. Okay, so I don't know if I did something wrong? Wait a minute. I have to check this now. Do all my farms not work, or is it just that one? Okay, that's working. Is there a mistiming or something that I don't know about? That's the issue. I just need to waterlog it. Oh, shoot. Nope. Oh, goodbye. Okay, so we need to waterlog this thing first. Then we need to... Okay. Do I have any ice? Okay, this one's gonna be a rough build. Okay. Oh wait, I can do this pretty easily actually. If I just do that and that. Take my ice block. Break it. Put this in here. Ba ba ba. Da da da. La da da da. This should work, right? Wait, just to make sure, Redstone, redstone, redstone. Huh. It still broke. Interesting. Alright, we have a lot of things we need to fix coming up soon. And that means, since I have to rebuild another tree farm, I just have to build one for the dark oak and pale oak tree. Yeah, this project right here that I have planned is not going to happen for a little while. I thought that was going to happen pretty soon, but no, it's going to be quite a long time. Okay, so I don't know where this project will actually end, but I do know it's going to be at least within this radius all the way over there. Not radius, that range. Something like that. I don't know. I did bad in geometry, okay? So let's go ahead and just mark it down a little bit like so. That means... Yeah, let's keep going up. Okay, how does that look? If there is a wall right there, we can put a building in between. And it would look pretty darn good, actually. Wow. I like that structure. It looks pretty good. So I thought I would actually have to rebuild this entire nether tree farm because I couldn't figure out how to get this TNT duper to work. But I figured out I was just being stupid. The water logging is done in a completely different part of the machine than I realized, and I think I've done this like 3 times now. So let me fix this and we can go ahead and get our tree farm running. Okay, please don't break. Please don't break. Okay. Okay, it's moving. Wait, that's a good sign? Yes! Okay! Yep, it's duping. So I decided to AFK while my friends and I were hosting a movie night. And this week, the movie we were watching was K-pop Demon Hunter. My little soda pop. 10 out of 10 movie, by the way. Would watch again. After the AFK session, I ended up getting about this much of the stem and then that much of the crimson mushroom block. I also went ahead and did a lot of AFKing for just spruce wood, because I use a lot of spruce in a lot of my builds and it's just my most commonly used wood for crafting. Alright then. So in the last clip you might have seen, I actually went ahead and was AFKing at my tree farms. And as you saw, my nether tree farm was actually working. So it wasn't the tree farm's fault, it was just me being dumb. I completely forgot how to actually create the TNT chamber up here, and I thought I had to put a slab inside of here, which was completely inaccurate. I did not realize the slab was up there and not inside. I guess it makes sense now that I'm looking at it. I don't know why I didn't realize, but yeah, it works now, and it's pretty much completely flawless. So we can now get ourselves a ton of, well, another tree farm. I forgot to turn this thing off, didn't I? Oh, it's just out because I didn't realize. Well, that's a shame. Our another tree farm no longer needs to be redone. We actually have it set. Now all that's left is to actually add the final type of tree. And that is the dark oak and pale oak tree, which is going to go somewhere inside this mountain. And then we can finally build something pretty cool to encompass our tree farms. I'm actually quite excited because I've had this planned for 4 or 5 months at this point. I haven't built it or anything, but I have an idea of what I want to build, and I'm excited because it should look really cool. Now that we've gotten ourselves our another tree farm completely working, we can go ahead and start working on other projects. For example, I do want to build this facade, I think, in this episode. So I think I'm going to remove this and then redo it because I don't like it. This looks... It looked good at the time for the size that I originally had planned, but since I decided to make it a dual moss farm and make it twice the size, this no longer fits and it's just not good enough. So we're gonna make it better. We're gonna make it a lot better. Okay, let's grab a bunch of stone real quick just to make things a little bit nicer and perfect. Okay. Ouch! That kinda hurted, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Whoop, I fell. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do... Neos. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and just fill up this little section right here with some stone, so that way we can have at least a base idea of this section. Otherwise, it's gonna be an absolute pain. Right here, I think. Okay. Would this be a good spot for a gate? It could be kind of cool. You know what? This might be one of the spots. I kind of like that actually. We'll keep that in mind. This could be like one of those really cool looking courtyard type areas where it's like a couple different doors. Whoop! I've fallen in a hole. I'm gonna go ahead and start building up an outline for this section of the castle. So what I have in mind is some kind of Gothic architecture, and the type of Gothic architecture is probably gonna be in the style of like maybe a church or something, purely because church castle stuff looks really cool. And I think I want to have it be kind of unique in the sense that it's not gonna be from the ground up, it's gonna start from like the central area here. I want this section down here to be maybe, I don't know, stables or something like that. I want it to be something integral for the actual castle itself, while the upper portion is meant for aesthetics, kind of hiding away the, I guess, the inner workings of the castle. So if that's the case, I want it to start like here. Usually I like to build these kind of outlines and let it set for a good amount of time before I actually get working on anything, just to see if I like it. However, I just want to go ahead and get through with it just because I've been itching to build something for so long. This is going to be the time I build. I like building. So this is it. See, how does that look? Okay. So I want to do this in the style of those Gothic churches like I was saying. However, those Gothic churches tend to be really symmetrical when it comes to the architecture. One thing I definitely want to stray away from is the symmetry. My entire castle is very asymmetrical, and I love it for that reason. Every angle you look at it from, it's going to be a different perspective, different look, something completely different that you can love each and every part, except for the texturing. Do not love the texturing. I hate the texturing. You're going to redo it. Definitely going to redo it. I hate it. But, let's see. At least based on this, I want it to be somewhat symmetrical, but not symmetrical. So let me line myself up with this right here. Today's build will be based off of the Westminster Abbey, which is in London and was ordered to be built by King Henry III to be his burial ground for once he, passed. I don't know enough about history to really keep talking about this, so I'll just stop the history talk there. However, one thing I can talk about is the actual, whoa, what's going on with the time lapse? That's kind of weird. But one thing I can talk about is the actual architecture of the building itself. One of the things that makes, well, Gothic architecture so prominent in the late 12th century was the pointed arches, the ribbed vaults, the flying buttresses, and extremely elaborate architecture. Another thing that was very popular was the rose window, which is that big window that's in the direct center of the cathedral itself, and is just massive and really ornate. The Gothic style has to be one of my favorite architecture styles of all time. It's just so nice. If I don't have a lot of diorite, I'm gonna be kind of sad. Okay, I do have a lot of diorite. I'll take it. Diorite's fun. But do I have calcite? That's the real question. 113 calcite. Oh, okay. We might be cooked when it comes down to calcite, but luckily, we do have ourselves a little bit of wool. Wool, that is a pretty good, what would you call it, like a shading color? It's a highlight, more of a highlight, I suppose. So we're getting a lot of white wool. We're probably gonna want andesite, because andesite is a really good shade for diorite. Ooh, I really need to work on getting andesite. How do you make andesite again? You make andesite by diorite and cobblestone. How do you make diorite? Make diorite with quartz and cobblestone. Okay. And do we have a lot of quartz? We probably do, actually. Let me check the nether. Oh, I took half my health. Oh gosh, that would really hurt. So we can make a ton of diorite. Like so. And then we can turn it into andesite. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's really good, actually. Wow. That's a lot of andesite. My goodness. Huh. So a singular row of quartz makes me 2 rows of andesite. Of course, it takes me a lot of cobblestone. However, this is actually kind of worth it. I'm not gonna lie. This is my first time ever crafting andesite myself. So this is good to know. This is really good to know. How do you make granite? I don't remember. Granite, like diorite mixed with something else? Oh, it's diorite mixed with nether quartz. Interesting. Let's go ahead and grab our little flying friend over here. Hello, good sir. Oh, we gotta fly him all the way over there. Oh no. Okay. It's gonna be a little while. Okay. Be there in like, I don't know, half an hour? It might be 2 days from now at this point. Man, this takes forever. Do 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 do. I'm flying on over. Oh my god! I just realized my boots have like little indents. There's a zombie down there. That's not a good sign. There we go. Who needs scaffolding now that you have this stuff? We're probably gonna want to do something like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I'm gonna go take a quick break to gather a bunch of sandstone because I think I'm gonna need some smooth sandstone for this build. So I'm gonna gather as much as I can for right now, so that way I don't have to go mining in the near future, or at least for a good amount of time. I also want to take down my old cactus farm because it was just a pain to look at, so why not get rid of it now? Anyways, back to building. Let's go ahead and get back to it. Well, kinda. I think I don't know what I'm doing here, but I am currently building something. Yep, that's right. I'm going to start adding in the sandstone that I just collected and smelted. We're also going to use pale moss as the roofing, and as you can see below the platform, I'm actually building up some pillars using some deep slate all the way up to a white wool gradient. I actually really enjoy it. I think it looks cool, and I'm even adding some walls to make these pillars look more circular. On top of that, look at my little happy gas. My man is moving fast. But that takes us to the last part of our time lapse. All that's left is to take this building all the way up to its, I guess, final height. And the first part was maybe only the first third. So now we're building the last, well, 2/3 of the building, and we're adding in these little areas to stand on, these windows, all of the stuff that's important, such as this rose window right here. I actually really love this design. I think it looks pretty cool. We even got to add in those pointed rooftops, as well as starting to add in some, well, we at least tried to add in those towers. Since these towers were even, it was really hard to make a pointed top, so we just ended up having to go for a turret instead. We even got to start adding in the flying buttresses, which were one of my favorite pieces of architecture. I just love them for some reason. They don't make any sense. They don't really add too much. I guess they do make sense. They're structural support, but, you know, I just love them. So it's been about a week of, I guess, building and just figuring out exactly how I want to build this area around here. I know this video has been very, very build-centric, but I only had time to really get this thing done today, and I didn't really completely finish it, but I have the basic structure. The reason it took me so long was just because I was so busy with this week, but we officially have ourselves a kind of facade. I love this look of this building, and it's just amazing. The way the sandstone and the diorite clash with the gray stone of this area here. This right here provides such a nice pop of color, and it actually provides a good amount of, I guess, consistency with like this section right here being made out of sandstone. I still need to actually fix all of this right here because I hate this texturing. I'm not going to get over it. I hate it. I did it on a whim one day, and I just like, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling the texturing that day. This is a mess. I don't like it. So as for the blocks for this build, I used a lot of, well, I went from a gradient from deep slate all the way up to white wool up there. So we used deep slate, tough, cobblestone, stone, andesite, diorite, polished diorite, and white wool. I didn't actually texture any of the sandstone. I will at some point with some birch. Oh, I did up here a little bit. So I'll probably throw in some birch, maybe some normal sandstone, and then possibly throw in some bamboo. Bamboo would make a nice little accent, so I could like surround this right here with a bamboo accent to make it like a gold look. I think that'll be kind of cool. Another thing is, I will struggle to figure out the interior. Because, look at this. This right here is the door. So I guess the door will have to pop out into here, which is going to be interesting. And on top of that, these windows are right here against the moss farm. So either I'm going to have to make the moss farm look better so it can fit in the windows and not look terrible, or I'm going to have to cover up the moss farm with more of a facade. However, I think I prefer to be able to see the moss farm because it's a farm I built and it'd be nice to be able to see it more frequently. I also have to figure out at some point how I'm going to get down to the moss farm from the mega base up here or somewhere down here. I don't know yet. I mean, I say that, but I don't even have an entrance to the top of the castle just yet. I have to fly up there manually myself. I also do want to make this somewhat of a main entrance, but at the same time, it won't work. You may be wondering why, and it's kind of the fact that this platform is floating quite a bit. This is more of a banister than anything. I guess I was originally going to make this like into a stables area. However, this just kind of makes sense to be like a side entrance for workers, servants, knights, all that kind of stuff. And down here, I don't know what to build just yet, but we have a lot of space. We can do something quite big in here. That'll be kind of nice. Well, we have at least, well, almost 2 walls of the 4 walls done. We still have to go upward, because what's going on with this cloud? Interesting. While I love the look of it from down here, I do want a bit more of a spiky end. So I want it all to condense up into a singular point. Let's see. So somewhere up here, or up here, somewhere around that. So eventually everything is going to build up to this point right up here. Let's see, I do want to get to building on this section of the build at some point soon, so I can work on the city back here. But this is going to be an absolute butt ton of work, and I'm going to need a lot of stone, which I do not have a lot of. That's a wandering trader. That's cool. So, yeah. I'm gonna have to surround these entire things with a bunch of stone all the way up to the top, and yeah, we're gonna figure out the design at some point. But before I can even work on this, I'm probably gonna need to make myself a stone farm. And you know what? A stone farm might fit perfectly right in here, because I'm pretty sure they're quite big. Huh. We'll have to look into that. We also still have this build down here we have to finish up, but it's fine. We haven't gotten to it yet. Okay, we have a lot of work, and I'm enjoying this quite a lot. Haha. So anyways, thank you all for watching, and of course, have a good one, y'all. Goodbye.